It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, big stretch, big yawn. Adam King is here today with me. Iceman is out. Rothman and Ice. CB at the switches, so we have a little bit of consistency on the show. Good to see you, my man. Little cup of Java over there, ready to rock.
I thought that you said they were going to change the open to Rothman and King. That's the only reason I did the show. Who's this Ice guy?
We're waiting to see how it goes. Last time you came, you were the best so far.
Okay.
We'll call you, I think, were the words that were uttered after that.
And then I waited, I think it's been 6 years. It's been a long time. And it was devastating.
It's worth it, though, wasn't it?
It was certainly worth it.
Exactly.
I got CB with me. That was the exciting one. I didn't have him last time. He said, if Adam's going to be here, I'm certainly not.
Yes, that's what usually happens.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. I'm being honest. It is good to see you. I'm glad you're here, back from your little travels in Atlanta and all that stuff. And did you get a ring yet?
I did not.
Okay, because I know you were a big
They
part
haven't
of this.
called for my ring size, which I thought was a little weird. I just Googled Ohio State football and called the number.
Yeah.
And some lady said, sir, please stop calling this number and telling me your ring size. And so I'm going to try again tomorrow, see if I get the right number.
We can get you a little replica. Of some kind, yeah.
Have you seen the big ones that are like paperweights? They're just giant.
I have. I think, didn't Jeremiah Smith have some sort of a...
that was a giant thing that they gave, but ESPN
that's
gave out.
You would want.
I mean, I'll take anything. I took a sign from
Isn't that what Matty says every Saturday? The man that sits on the porcelain throne? Isn't that what he says?
The porcelain. It's the Iron Throne,
I'm
sorry. The Iron
All
Throne.
right, got that
do
part.
also sit on a porcelain throne, though. I will admit to that. It does happen.
All right, well, that's good. You'll tell us about your little travels. Any highlights you can share on that? Did you guys bunk up together? Was the budget enough for everybody to have their separate rooms?
It was interesting. We were allowed to have separate rooms. Dom kept knocking on my door every night. I said, go to your room. Leave me alone. And I don't know. He just kept saying, you can sleep in the chair. I'll take the bed. And
Connecting rooms.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I didn't know it was connecting until there he was every morning ironing his shirt.
Years ago when I used to do what you did, and now I got smart and got out of that racket, we were traveling to some bowl game somewhere. I think it was an Outback Bowl somewhere at the end of Coop's reign.
Okay.
And we had a producer. We came back to the hotel, and I'll admit this. Clay and I both did this together. I'm going to take 50% of it.
Okay.
There was an uneaten piece of cheesecake on a tray.
No.
Perfect.
In the hallway?
Cellophane.
Oh, no.
No, hang on. Cellophane over it, I believe. Or maybe it was in a styrofoam container. And we put it at the door of our producer.
Oh.
And the next morning, we all met in his room to go over the day's plan. And the cheesecake was gone when we got there, at 8:30 in the morning or whatever. And we get in there, and we're meeting in his room, and he's at that little desk in the hotel room, and we're on whatever little love seat they got in there. And I stare over, and I see in the wastebasket underneath the desk an empty styrofoam container. And I look at Clay, and I say, we got him. He did it, didn't he? And we asked him straight up.
I was going to say, how do you bring that up?
Did you get the little treat we left for you? And he said, I sure did. It made for a nice little breakfast cake. That's right. That happened.
I don't know two things. How much you would have to pay me to get me to just eat something left at my door at a hotel. Mm-hmm. And number two, how much you would have to pay me to get you to tell you that I actually did that.
That's right.
I mean,
I know.
Wow.
I know. It's back in the day. We were bad.
And you don't even know where the cheesecake came from.
No, but we knew no one had taken a bite out of it.
Is the producer still alive?
We knew it came from the hotel. That's the tricky part. And we'll leave it at that. I will tell you that it was fun when it happened. That's for sure. We got Mike Tanier on today, 2 Deep Zone. We'll talk NFL. We'll do Super Bowl preview. Spencer Holbrook from Lettermen will join us at 2:30. See if we got an eye on a new OC, if we're replacing a new OC and a new DC and all that good stuff. We have Ryan Day on the Tonight Show.
The Tonight Show.
He had him.
He was there.
Yeah, I saw the clips of it. So it's interesting about this whole story. You were along for the ride the whole way, like we were.
Not on the golf cart. Not that red.
By the way, people are asking me, like, why did I have such a weird reaction on Friday when he called in and he mentioned the thing? I'll give you the answer. The answer to that is that I came in on Tuesday after they won the title, and when we were talking about the golf cart incident, I said to Matty, it was something odd. All I kept thinking of was Austin Powers.
Yes.
So that way, when Coach said it days later, I felt like we were in simpatico there. We had something going there. We both used the same.
It felt like a special moment for you.
Yes, either he stole my analogy or the minds were aligned. That's why I reacted that way. People were asking me, like, why was that so great? It wasn't. It was just that Coach thought of the same thing I did.
Ryan on the same wavelength.
I felt a little smarter at the time.
Also, people should know your love for movies, too.
That's right, yeah. And that is, I mean, certainly the whole Michael Myers
I knew
series.
we got along for a reason.
Yeah.
You're a movie buff?
Yeah, thanks for listening.
What time are you guys on every day?
That's right. Yeah. I think Dom asked me that once. Now, what time do you guys start? Noon?
Noon to 3. Every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, he was on, and so I'll play this. This clip is from Friday, and the reason. So I had to pull a Shefty on Friday. In the middle of the segment at 2:00, I get this text, and Ryan Day wants to come on, and I'm like, great, I'm being catfished. Like, this is not what did I say? So either two things.
What did I say? You think he was going to have it out on 97.1?
I'm getting catfished, or he wants to have it out about something, and it was him, obviously, and we bumped, and I don't know whether I should bring it up again. We bumped Mike Tanier, our guest at 1:30 today. Brutal. We bumped him Friday. I have no idea what CB told him. He could have just told him the truth. So
CB, did you tell him?
I did. I told him that Ryan Day was coming on last second.
How did he take it?
He was fine.
Okay.
You can always go with, I have a doctor's appointment. That works too. You should have tried that. Sorry, we have a doctor's appointment. We can't have you on.
Yes, we're all leaving. We all have a doctor's appointment.
We got to go to the dentist.
Middle of the show. And so he comes on, and ever since they won, or before they won, he was saying, you have to finish it so the story can be told, right? That was it. You can't just be a footnote in history of a team that might have been, a season that might have been. You can't get that close and then lose to Notre Dame. And so they finished the deal, as everybody knows. But what I find interesting about the whole thing, I don't think it's awkward anymore to bring up the Michigan loss.
No.
And I did bring it up to him on Friday. A lot of people would be like, hey, ancient history. They won it all. It doesn't mean anything. Just, it was a bump along the way and all that. I look at it differently. I look at it as this is the strangest thing that they will have to lean into for years, is that not only did they lose that game, but it may have been the reason that they turned it on and won it all. I wouldn't know. I don't have proof of that. If they beat Michigan and go beat Oregon and get revenge in Indy, they're the 1 seed. They probably win anyway, right?
I have thought this, and I'm not discounting the Buckeyes because I think they are 100% the best team in the country, and the team we saw in that 4-team playoff is dominant. I think Oregon is the second best team in the country. I think if you play them in the Big Ten championship, you maybe like get angry and use that as your revenge game and go out there and dominate like they did in the Rose Bowl. And then you got to see Oregon again because they're going to be the 5 seed. So you meet them in the Cotton Bowl. Now you got to play Oregon 3 times in 1 year.
It depends how they would have taken them apart in Indy. If they would have done it the same way they did in the Rose Bowl.
Then Oregon comes back and says, okay, they've shown their hand. Let's do this again.
CB, are we meeting them? Would that be the third game would have been in the Rose Bowl also? It just would have been delayed?
It would have been in the Cotton Bowl.
You're assuming that Oregon falls to the 8-9 line.
No, they would have been
making
the 5
assumptions,
seed.
but yes,
no,
possibly.
he's saying he puts them at 5.
I put them at 5 where Texas was.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go back.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't think they would have been
if
they were the number 1 team in the country.
And Oregon goes to the 5.
Right.
Yeah, they would have met in the Cotton Bowl.
Oh, the Cotton Bowl, yes.
Yeah, okay, so it would have been the Cotton Bowl. So they probably would have beaten them there, too.
I think they would have won that game, but I'm just saying.
You know what's the weirdest story about that game? And I brought it up a couple times, and I know they want to say he was tweaked or whatever. Evan Stewart, the kid that tore them apart in the first game, the 1-point game, never played in the Big Ten title game, and he never played a month later in the rematch. And they never really said
anything.
Oh, may have tried warm up. Like, I don't know. It was this weirdest thing. Not that would have made the biggest difference.
I was going to say, I think that Oregon could have had DeAndre Hopkins as a wide receiver in his prime and still lost that game at that point.
Yeah. So, all right. So, and we'll play this next at this point. But I think that most people believe what you're saying is you're thinking that maybe, and this is a big maybe, there's a chance Ohio State could have peaked at the Big Ten title game.
I'm not saying that. Yeah. I still think they win. I just think the road gets tougher if you got to play an extra game. It's as simple as that. The road gets tougher if you have to play Oregon. Imagine the slate they just went on.
So you're saying that obviously losing in Michigan, you don't have to play the Big Ten title game.
Yeah. So swap out playing.
But you're playing an extra game in the playoff.
Yeah, exactly. But
either way, you're getting a bye though. So you're not. If you play the Big Ten title game and win, you're getting a bye.
Yes, but you got to play Oregon in the Big Ten title game.
Right, but you're not playing an extra.
And then you're playing Tennessee in the Rose Bowl. Yeah. I'm just saying you got to play Oregon twice. That just, the
moral of the story.
It all worked out perfectly.
Is that, and I had people writing me after Michigan. This is no joke. I don't know if you got these too. That they purposely.
Yes.
Lost the game so they wouldn't have to go play the Big Ten title game. You've got to be nuts. I mean, I've heard of things before. There is no way they're putting themselves in that position. First of all I heard the whole year was how important the bye was. Yeah. And obviously you want to win the Big Ten.
Well,
you want to beat your rival.
It's not even winning the Big Ten. That Michigan game, the feeling around that Woody for the days after, no. That was horrible. But the nice thing is, nobody cares.
It lit the fuse. And the moral of the story is, and you'll hear it next, when he called in on Friday, I asked him about how that changed the mindset of this team and maybe rebranded their philosophy. And it's something they have to lean into. But if you lean into it, then you're not dismissing it. Like you almost, to tell the story he wants to tell, that's going to be a part of it. It's going to be a part of what maybe motivated them and changed them.
It's, what is it? It's a 3-part story.
Yeah.
In the first part, your hero climbs up the tree. Your second part, they throw rocks at him. Third part, he finds a way down. There you go. That's how they won the championship.
Threw rocks at him?
I think that's what it is. I don't know. I might have made that up. Colin?
You mean the rocks knocked him out of the tree?
The rocks don't knock him out. He finds a way out of the tree. We'll dive in more into
is he a
Adams.
Cat?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to come back. And also Jim Knowles. When you hear this, it's like, who knew that the Buckeyes were the springboard to a dream?
Exactly.
That'll be next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
The New Year's celebration is come and gone, but my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin are still offering those great deals. Rich is sticking with rates starting as low as 0% and leases starting from only $249 a month. Test drive the Prologue, the new all-electric SUV from Honda. And how about the very popular CR-V LX all-wheel drive? A 25 lease is only $349 a month for 36 months with $19.99 down. See the dealer for all these amazing details. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. TNCs apply.
Hey friends, Beamer here. And 7 weeks ago, I decided to make a change. And now I'm down 37 pounds. Only 7 weeks to drop what probably took 5 years to put on. What's more wild is how easy it was, all thanks to Awaken 180. I'm chasing Willie around like it's nothing, throwing him up in the air, running after the dog, all kinds of good things. Something that used to leave me gassed. And you know what? If you're overweight, I'm sure that you can relate. Late nights, early mornings, football playoffs, none of it feels like it's slowing me down anymore. And those cravings that always got in my way, gone. Poof. What I thought would be a struggle has become second nature. The other guys here at the Fan were right. Awaken 180 gives results. And more importantly, the fast results we need to keep on going. My coach, Natalie, is the health guru. She helps me adjust to fit my crazy schedule from what to eat to when to eat. No meds, no gimmicks. Just a plan straight up that works and can work for anyone. If you want control, take control with Awaken 180. It is the choice to make. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, plenty of sunshine. It does get windy this afternoon, so keep that in mind. Winds could gust as high as 30 miles per hour. Today's high will be 40. Wednesday, partly sunny, high of 40. Our next big storm comes in Thursday night into Friday. Could be looking at an inch of rain. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey kids, Anthony once did magic for birthday parties. See, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound so bad. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Right. Just needed a better looking assistant. I would have made it. I would have been the next Burt Wonderstone. All right, if you're not feeling good, feeling down, lack of motivation, gain some weight, we all get it. Don't chalk it up to just, I'm getting older. Chalk it up to maybe signs of low testosterone. Don't wait, find out. Low T Center, real quick, real easy, simple blood test. Get on their site, lowtcenter.com. Make your appointment. Go in. You'll get your results in less than a half an hour. It's perfect for us guys. If you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, for sure, you're just not feeling right and you want to find out, then go find out from the experts. They have more than a decade of experience helping patients. And what's very important about what they do is they'll personalize the treatment plan to optimize for every patient. It's not just a basic standard dosage. If you're a current patient at Low T Center, then you know how successful and the experts that are there that are helping people. And they're going to offer you, if you're a current patient, a $150 referral credit for every new patient that you refer. And you can also get your health evaluated for treatment, prescription GLP-1 weight loss meds. So it's one-stop shop for all guys, and it's at lowtcenter.com. Book the appointment today. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. All right, so Friday, Ryan Day calls in, unbeknownst to us. It was a great interview. We went 20 minutes. We blew through a commercial and all that good stuff that you're supposed to do in radio when you got a good guest on the line. And we thank him for it. Certainly he deserves this victory lap, and he's talked about the roller coaster ride for him and his family. It's been well documented, but he's also said in the same breath, this is what you sign up for. Everybody knows at Ohio State, this is what you sign up for. And here we are basking in the glow of a title, yet to tell the entire story, he had to reinvent himself on the fly. And it seems like that's happened before. A couple years ago, he just didn't take it all the way. Here's Ryan on that. I don't know. You can tell me how difficult it was for you and all that, and we can go through that. But changing a little bit of the philosophy after the Michigan game, and I called it on this kind of the no regrets playbook. You became a throw first team. You just kind of, not through caution to the wind, but you changed the way you approached football games. Was that difficult for you? Because you did. It was eerily similar to a couple years ago when you went and played Georgia and had them on the ropes. That felt like that you changed things. Was that difficult for you, or just kind of leaning into, no, if we're going down swinging big?
Yeah, well, I felt like there was a lot of things this season and a lot of times this season where we were still finding ourselves. But certainly coming off that last game, we had to make changes. And great teams make adjustments and make changes, and we all had to agree that these were the right things. But the key is that, you identify what really needs to get done, and then you actually go do it. And then there was just a belief that when we came out of that Tennessee game, there was just a different feel from everybody. And it wasn't no huddle. It was still huddle, but it was great execution. And there was we're every time we line up under center or, snap the ball, there's an opportunity to go score a touchdown. And I think everybody felt that on the field in the stadium and whoever's watching the game, that was the mentality of the offense. But, just as impressive was the defense. I mean, in the way that they played and the number of sacks that they had over that run and how well they played. And, it was fun to be around.
21-0 at the Shoe on a frigid night, first home playoff game ever. I pointed out that week that I couldn't remember Ohio State ever losing 2 straight games at home in all the time I've been here. And I went back, and that's accurate.
Okay.
They hadn't, and in 30-plus years. And that gave me some confidence that trend was something that was real. You were there. Is all it took was the first quarter against Tennessee for them to believe again that the confidence then comes right back so fast? They couldn't replay the Michigan game, obviously, but it felt like to me, even though Tennessee bounced back in the second quarter and made a game of it, it felt like 21-0, throw first. It was like, it's on.
I remember, and this is covered quite a few Buckeye games, but I remember walking into Skull Session, listening to that Skull Session and thinking, what are they going to say? They're coming off one of the most devastating moments in Ohio State history. How are they going to get up there and fire up a fan base that quite frankly, many have been, incredibly frustrated and outwardly spoken about how angry they are. And I remember Emeka Egbuka got up there and he started talking, and I saw Ryan behind him. And he wasn't crying, but he had this emotional, not just fire in his eyes. It was unlike anything I've ever seen from Ryan. Hearing Emeka talk about the program, like an emotional moment of wow, let's go. In that moment, I literally thought to myself, that's wild. And then they walked into that stadium, and there was all that orange, and there was it was a weird feeling. And then they just lit him up. And then, Tennessee got back in the game after a weird interception call. That probably, doesn't matter now. And they kept answering the bell.
Can't we all admit that the doubt and the humbling, that combination after Michigan, is what tapped into a different gear for a team that probably knew they were really talented anyway, but needed a shot, to the gut to feel like they had to protect something. I agree with you. When they walked in there, it was Tennessee, Knoxville's going to take over and all that. If that doesn't get you going, then he had the wrong team. And if they would have lost, then maybe we would have come in and admitted that the team on paper was just a lot better than they were at, what they became. But I think that the most interesting part of this story is the fact that they need to admit that the Michigan loss worked for them. Not that you would ever want it to happen, but that it did work for this team at that time, and it was something that they used to help them. I don't think, like I said, I have no proof that if they would have beat Michigan and won the Big Ten, that they wouldn't have won it anyway. But it became a different us, the old Ohio against the world and all that. It actually became somewhat real to them.
It did. It 100% did. They felt like everybody in the world was against them. They felt like in talking to this team, the fired upness just to defend Ryan Day, became a huge point for them.
It's a divide, though. For them, it was. You're right.
For the team.
Yeah.
For the actual players.
That's correct. Yeah.
After that Michigan game, they saw what happened. And what happened was terrible. It was taken way too far by some. And that became another point for them. We're going to go win this for our coach because we love Ryan Day. We think Ryan Day is a great coach. And, I mean, he proved it. They all proved him right.
Yeah.
And he is a great coach. And to see them go out and do that, you're right. I don't know if it happens if they don't lose to Michigan.
There was a headline today on CBS Sports that said Penn State poaching Jim Knowles sends clear message. And the message that they're trying to tell us is they feel like that James Franklin and Penn State is now ready to take that next step and get over the top, that they're stealing from a rival. I don't know if that's really the right, I think it's a headline, but you can't poach a guy that doesn't want to be poached. And Jim Knowles, when he got in front of his Penn State guys, was this weekend, CB?
This was
yesterday. When I heard this, I was like, my goodness, this has been burning inside of him for a long time.
We had like 3 channels on TV, and you got up Sunday morning, and you watched the Penn State highlights, because I grew up in Philly. North Philly, the real Philly for you suburb guys. I mean, the one where you take the subway to school every day. Penn State was everything. It was everything. You know, that's what we aspired. That's what we aspired to be. And I couldn't get there as a player, but through a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of really good players, and that allowed me to reach that point in my career where I could really pick wherever I wanted to be. And growing up as a kid, Penn State was everything, and this is where I want to be.
The timing worked out, right? Clearly, Franklin didn't want him when he could have had him a little bit ago. He wants him coming off the title.
I mean, come on.
He went old school with him.
Come on. What are we doing? He was here 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and everything, like, don't act like you didn't hate Penn State 3 months ago and 6 months ago. Don't act like you didn't go into their territory. I watched him walking off the field in Penn State, fired up with the guys, celebrating like crazy. You don't do that if magically in your heart, this is your home. This is where I want to be. This is, listen, this is personal.
We'll have to develop this.
This feels personal. And I feel like saying things like that, I understand he's got to, but like, just go, you know, and let's move on. But it just feels a lot has been said over the last couple of days, and it feels unnecessarily personal.
We'll say more later on in the show. Up next, Mike Tanier, Too Deep Zone. Is it stupid to bet against Mahomes? It's weird because the line would tell you that it's not. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Something amazing is happening here. Scientists are using AI to study how whales talk to each other. CDW experts can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Guys, it's D. Miller. It's a new year and time to keep that promise of getting your testosterone levels checked. If you're lacking energy, muscle mass, or have low libido, it could be low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT plan. Look for a personalized treatment plan, like you'll get at Low T Center. And for current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 credit when you refer a new patient. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Get ready ready for the big game and stock up on home team favorites like buy 5, save $5 deals at Meijer. Mix or match hundreds of items like assorted varieties of DiGiorno frozen pizza, 24 packs of Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable, and Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue or marinade sauce. Buy 5, save 5 this week at Meijer. That's the good life. A good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony once got Jack Nicklaus to quote the movie Caddyshack, so he's got that going for him.
The last time I saw a mouth like that, I had a hook.
Which is nice. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let's go while we're young.
All right, here we go. Talking football. Super Bowl hype is on. Our friend Mike Tanier, he's the NFL writer, editor, and he founded the Two Deep Zone, and we appreciate his make good today. Mike, welcome back.
It's great to be here. Greetings from the Senior Bowl down here in Mobile, Alabama, where it is sunny and beautiful.
Yes, the Reese's Senior Bowl. Well done, my man. All right, so the spread on the game is 1.5. The Chiefs. Some people were surprised by that because they felt like the Eagles are the better team. But where were you on this spread from the opener? Were you surprised either way that the Chiefs either aren't a bigger favorite or the Eagles weren't a favorite? Where'd you stand on it?
It honestly felt about right to me, right around 1.5, because you do have the Chiefs' postseason track record. You know, I don't think that the house is doing like really, really high-end matchups at this. They're also looking at the public and which team is going to get more public action, and that's going to be the Chiefs. So, you know, I look at it and I'm trying to look for advantages and say, well, you know, I'm based out of Philly. I was a lifelong Eagles fan. I understand that they're dogs. I want to take it up to like 4.5 points and bet it. But, you know, it comes down to this. 1.5 is pretty much a toss-up. That's a toss-up, more or less. And then that extra point comes from saying, well, they're the Chiefs, and this many people are going to bet on them based on their reputation.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's very difficult to get anybody to bet against Mahomes now in the Super Bowl. Yet, and the spread is allowing that. That's why I feel like something's funny going on here because, you know, and I got burned on this when they played Tampa. You know, I said, don't bet against Mahomes. Don't do it. And they didn't have an offensive line, and they got roasted. So I'm trying to look at this from an X's and O's standpoint. But if there are a lot of people out there that say, oh, I would never bet against Patrick Mahomes in a big game, well, then they got the perfect spread. Like they got the perfect game. It's not like they got to lay 3.5. Like it almost feels too much of a gift in a way if you're one of those people that says, I would never bet against him in this kind of a game.
I wonder because, you know, what's really happened this year is the Chiefs haters have become bigger and bigger and greater. You know, a couple of years ago, there weren't Chiefs haters because they were still Patriots haters or Cowboys haters back then. Maybe as part of the spread is they realize there are a lot of people who are just going to bet against this team They know the Eagles do match up pretty well. They want an excuse, and the house is just trying to line the action up one way or the other. Yeah, I can't find anything weird or conspiratorial about the spread. It's just that the house 2 weeks out, you know, trying to make sense of a team with a very complicated legacy and reputation at this point.
We have seen the animosity in Philadelphia for a while here with their coach. What is it like now to see him take them to this point? I mean, magically it went from we need to get rid of this guy. He's 14-3 this season, and now he's got them on the doorstep of the Super Bowl. What's that been like to watch?
Yeah, there's two facets to this. One, you know, the fans in Philadelphia, still after the first playoff win, like after the Eagles beat the Packers, there were still articles like in the local blogs. It's like, you know, Sirianni's done if he can't beat the Rams. Like you're in the second round of the playoffs. This is a coach who has like the winningest record of any active head coach in the NFL in terms of win-loss percentage, and fans think he's going to go. So I think fans have softened on that end. You know, inside the locker room, it was about Sirianni, but it was never about Sirianni. It was about the losing. It was about the losing streak. It was about some of the guys on the staff. It was some of the guys he was being loyal to along the way. And you know, in the offseason, when they really reshuffled his entire coaching staff, brought in a couple of people, took out a couple of people, I think there probably still was some skepticism. I think there might have still been some bruised feelings. Winning cured them. And like the bad apples were out of the bunch, and the winning cured the element we're saying like some of these guys had in the past tuned Sirianni out.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who is a bigger star in this game, bigger X factor, Patrick Mahomes or Saquon Barkley?
It's Patrick Mahomes. He's been here 6 times or however many times he's been here. And, of course, Saquon has had probably the best season a running back has ever had, like in modern memory. If you could combine the regular season with the playoffs, like only Terrell Davis, maybe Marcus Allen have done anything like that. But you keep coming back to, 2 years ago, the Eagles reached the Super Bowl and were leading at halftime against the Chiefs, and the running back was Miles Sanders. Like you don't even ever think about Miles Sanders anymore. He was there. He was running for 1,500 yards that season. Saquon's a big factor. You can't imagine a situation where the Chiefs are doing anything remotely like what they're doing if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes.
That's where the Eagles have the big advantage, though, Mike, is it not? That the Chiefs look like they can be run upon, and that sets up nicely for Philadelphia. That could be, in the fundamental way, they've got an X factor like Adam was talking about with Barkley versus the Chiefs. It does seem like that is the advantage for Philly, big time.
That is a big advantage for Philly, that they can run the ball well. The Chiefs have problems in pass protection. The Eagles have a lot of depth on the defensive line to exploit that. And if you look at the coverage matchups, the Eagles cornerbacks have been playing so well, they should be able to shut down some of the guys downfield, these receivers like Worthy and DeAndre Hopkins, who are bigger names than necessarily the production suggests. Those are a couple of advantages for the Eagles. And then what you find yourself doing, I used to talk about this years ago, when the Patriots would be playing some team, and you would start stacking up the other team's advantages. The Rams against the Patriots, let's stack up the advantages. Falcons against the Patriots, let's stack up all the Falcons' advantages. Then you start asking, how big does the stack have to be to add up to Mahomes? And I think the Eagles, it probably does. It probably does add up to a Patrick Mahomes, but that's the kind of calculus that you have to do.
Did Josh Allen make that first down or no?
I honestly don't think he did, but I'll tell you what, that's a call I'm going to see on Sundays. Like, out of 100 times, they're going to call that not a first down, probably 55 times out of 100.
Obviously a Chiefs fan. I mean, clearly.
Obviously a Chiefs fan. I'm in on the conspiracy, guys. Yeah. I'm in on the conspiracy.
That's what it sounds like.
Right.
I've got to ask you this real quick. Why you live long? Either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. You talked earlier about the Chiefs becoming the villain here. So do you think they're not getting enough credit for what could be history if they win? I mean, people are more angry than anything, not looking at the fact they could see their first 3-time in a row Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to actually be part of this history. No one wants that. And I wrote about it on Sunday. When teams win this many championships, when the Chiefs did it, when the Cowboys did it, it's kind of like you sit down at a table with a couple of friends and someone puts a pizza in front of the table and somebody grabs 4 slices right away.
Right.
and you're like, it's like, well, I paid for it. Or like, no one cares. It's supposed to be for everyone. These championships are supposed to be for everybody. From let's put it this way, 30, 40 years from now, whether they three-peat or not, people are going to be talking about the glory of the Chiefs, the amazingness of the Chiefs, et cetera, just as people will look back on the Patriots and the Lombardi Packers. Right now, in the moment is people online are mad. They didn't want this team. They wanted the Bills. They wanted the Commanders. They didn't want the Eagles. They didn't want to see this. And that's what's going to swamp out the reality that a lot of people look at this and say, yes, this is special, this is magical, and we're living through it right now.
Yeah, and listen, if you're an underdog guy, I think we were robbed of what I wanted. I think what would have rang to me like, Cubs, Indians back in the day, Lions, Bills would have been the game. It would have been the one of those starved cities was going to get one. Yeah. And we didn't get either one of those.
You could have kicked your feet up and just rooted for the underdog.
Exactly. Bigger disappointment, would you say, the Lions not cashing in on their historic season or the Bills not being able to get over on the Chiefs in a winnable game?
Well, the Bills is probably more, crushing. Like, it's just more difficult to have that happen over and over and over again. I would say on the other side of things, it's more inexcusable, more implausible that the Lions got themselves into that position against the Commanders team who, you saw what the Eagles did to them. This is not some super team of destiny. Obviously, they did great things this year. Getting destroyed by that Commanders team was like, it took that Lions season that looked so great and looked so special for so long and turned it into just another year by just another team that lost in the playoffs. And that's heartbreaking in its own way. But as somebody who rooted for the Eagles when they would lose in the NFC Championship game every single year with Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid, I know what the Bills are going through. And it just makes you dread watching football again because no matter what happens in September, October, no matter how great you are, your brain is in January 20th and you're worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, final 30 seconds. Are you hearing any rumblings at the Senior Bowl about Will Howard? He's coming off the title. Nobody really knows where to slot him. We think he's kind of a mid-tier guy, but he showed a lot in that title run. What are they saying down there?
There's very little rumbling about it right now because, so many of the Ohio State guys, they didn't come down. They've got other things to do than to be here. And what happens when we get down here, it usually we talk about the guys that are here. So, guys who have the deep playoff runs in college, they have to get ready for the combine, et cetera. I don't think Howard has anything to worry about. But right now, all the action, we're talking about Milroe, we're talking about Jackson Dart, we're talking about the fellas that are here.
All right, my man. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Take care and enjoy your week.
Thanks. Mike Tanier, 2 Deep Zone on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We come back with the Buckeye Bulletin, the Fighting Dieblers.
The Fighting Dieblers.
The D stands for defense. Last night. You'll hear it. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Tri-State Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Tri-State Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Let's get it started.
Lindsay Honda starts this year off by giving you cash for your clunker. Up to $2,500 or $3,500 minimum for any trade. It's Lindsay Honda's Cash for Clunkers. 2025 CRVs and Ridgelines, both $299 a month. That's $299 a month or clunker cash going on now.
The lot is full and the deals are on.
See lindsayhonda.com for program details.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, can we talk? It's a new year and I need to move on. We had a great run, but you're old now. So I'm trading you in at Great Lakes Kia.
And new Kias are under $5 a day.
That's less than lunch.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All three under $5 a day. At Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
Yes, new 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day.
That Kia Sorrento is hot.
And we've got 0% financing.
But what if I'm not good enough for credit?
If you've got a job, you ride.
Under $5 a day.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia. GreatLakesKia.com. Want to take it for a test drive?
Oh, he needs to meet my parents first. To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
Quite a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the chill? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on Train furnaces, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. You told me something before the show that somebody had predicted next year's bracket already.
Yes, ESPN put out next year's bracket. And they have Ohio State as a 9 seed behind 8th-seeded Michigan and Penn State. They have Ohio State. I think they had Michigan beating the Buckeyes in the first round. Why even play the games?
Wait, of the playoff?
Yes. Playoff.
They're going to beat them twice?
So I guess they haven't beaten them in the last game of the regular season and then beaten them again. Turns out.
Is this the Bryce Underwood?
Yeah, the sweepstakes that's already started.
Flipping sweepstakes?
Yeah. I mean, what a way.
I mean, they're losing Grant and Graham.
This is
on the defense.
I believe this is
Loveland.
I don't know who put that bracket together. Just says ESPN. Wow. You would think they'd get a little more respect. You know?
Listen,
a 9 seed? A 9 seed?
Listen, I'm not here to tell you that Ohio State's. I'm not guaranteeing anything anymore. Not that I ever really did, but there were times where I would have.
I thought that you guaranteed they were going to lose to Tennessee, and then guaranteed they were going to lose to Oregon.
On that.
And then guaranteed they were going to lose to Texas. Didn't you?
Yes.
Wasn't that you?
No, I got strangely optimistic about the championship game, though.
I
came in here on that Monday going, and I know that because it felt to me like it was the best, easiest matchup for them with the way what Notre Dame was missing.
Isn't that the worst feeling, though? When you just have this feeling like you got to protect yourself, and then there was no world where they didn't win that game.
There was no world where they wouldn't win it,
and
after the first
scary.
drive.
It was scary to be so open, and
you have to be. I have felt that way, but I can't feel that way against Michigan anymore. I just can't. I won't allow it. It's not.
You can't allow that game to be bigger than it is. You and you have a year. Once a week, we'll sit down, we'll talk through it. I'll get a clipboard. You can't allow it to be bigger than it is now. Ohio State.
They've tried. Most coaches have tried, Adam, to play that thing. I care too much. I don't care enough. There's no way when you're on the losing side of it, you feel like that Ryan had to get out of his own way that day. But when you're in it, it's a lot easier said than done.
Let me ask you this, and this is going to sound really crazy to say, I understand. Do you think that Ryan Day is thinking about the Michigan loss right now? Because I don't. I don't.
Oh, no, not at all.
And that tells me all I need to know. I mean, obviously, Ryan wants to beat him. Obviously. It's his biggest rival. They all wanted to beat him. They don't give a crap right now. They won the national title.
Well, yes, but it's set up for him that was the only way, and I'm not talking about keeping his job, but it was the only way to make peace, to have peace, that he had to win it all. So the pressure was real, I think. If they lose to Texas, they lose the championship game, then it all comes pouring back again. It does. Because he would always fight that, but where are you in our biggest game of the year? The only thing he could have done was win it all. I'm not saying to keep his job. I'm saying to be where you said he is, which is not thinking about it. If he would have lost Notre Dame or Texas or Oregon again, then it all comes pouring back, and then he has unfortunately, there's nowhere to hide.
I just don't, and I'm sure he is thinking of it. I just don't think he should be.
Not yet.
Not yet. Wait,
soon.
It's well, you know what?
Because, and I don't mean that to be obsessive about it. What I mean is, you can't tout it in that building 365 and then say, well, I get to ignore it now for 2 months.
I'm not saying 2 months.
They're still selling it to their...
Yes, and they will forever sell it. But I am tired of it being elevated. And to be clear, before this year, it was a deciding factor. Before this year, you could not really, in theory, get to the championship game without winning that game. Obviously, that Georgia year, they had the opportunity. But in theory, it couldn't happen. Now, I think you look at it a completely different way.
Well, now you don't have legends and leaders, and that's not. Now you can get a shot at them again if you lose to them in the last game of the year. If the standings worked out that way, if you feel like there are chances for revenge.
CB said, "Don't even play the game." He said, "I don't even want to care about Ohio State, Michigan anymore." I thought that was a little much. I thought they went a little far with that, but
that's a little convenient, though.
Yeah, that's what he said, and I'm not going to put words in his mouth.
Yeah. He said, just get to the tournament.
Just get to the tournament.
Flip the switch.
Exactly.
And everything will be fine.
Honestly, why watch the regular season at this point?
I watched that game last night, 82-65 Buckeyes. They went on a 20-5 run, I think, right out of halftime, which was pretty tremendous. I'm not telling you that I was a world beater, but they held a team that can score to 65, and as far as their three-point percentage goes, Iowa was 7 for 25. Ohio State was 8 of 27. But I felt like in the beginning of the game, Iowa couldn't hit anything. But that run, CB, let's hear about that.
I think you're seeing an ability from our group as a whole to make adjustments. I want to point out specifically Evan Mahaffey, Sean Stewart, Quez Glover. Those guys, we challenged them to do more, and I thought they were great in the second half. Great in the second. Evan completely flipped the script on his kind of minutes and the impact on winning. I thought he was phenomenal in the second half. I thought Sean Stewart had some big-time plays in the second half, and Quez, I like the looks Quez got from three. I thought he managed the game well when he was in there outside of maybe, 1 or 2 possessions against the press. So that's part of it. I think guys have responded to being led by our upperclassmen and then also accepting challenges because of the standard we have for effort, toughness, playing with urgency. We hold guys to that standard, and those guys responded. So I think give them credit kind of starts there. But we've shown an ability to make adjustments when we have some time to sit down and really lock into it on the board and talk through it. I think our staff deserves a ton of credit for that, but certainly our players going out and executing and playing with the urgency necessary.
All right. Moral victories, we don't celebrate them, but we're going to celebrate them right now. Look at this team since that Kentucky game. I back in December, mid-December, they beat Kentucky. They beat Indiana State. They lose to Michigan State by 7.
Why did you mention Indiana State?
Well, because that was the next game.
Okay. I was going to say. I thought you were including them in some sort of a
that was just the next
booster.
game. Because this is literally the next. So they beat Kentucky, Indiana State, lose to Michigan State by 7. Mm-hmm. Then they go to Minnesota and win. Lose by 2 to Oregon at home. Lose by 2 at Wisconsin. Lose in overtime against Indiana. Win at Purdue and beat Iowa. Mm-hmm. I understand we're not giving credit to close losses, but I'm giving credit to close losses. On the road at Wisconsin, a good Oregon team. This team's starting to head on the right track here, peaking at the right time.
What it tells me is that, and I said this earlier, this is who they are. I think they can compete with most teams in the top 25 on any given night and beat them, but they can lose some games because that's their inconsistency, and he knows it. And so I'll agree with what you said about when you lose 3 straight games by a bucket.
Yeah,
it can send you into a mental problem. That can be a little. To be able to, I think the best thing about it is to think you're going to go to Purdue and win that game after losing 3 straight heartbreakers. Then there's something to be said for that. He's exactly right. Last night was a game in which Mobley wasn't settling completely. He was getting into the paint and scoring. Yes, Iowa couldn't make a three to save their lives early, but I thought that Parrish was going to the glass. They were doing things that wouldn't make a highlight reel. And I do feel like watching the Buckeyes go cold at the end of the first half, though, is where we have to understand the reality of who they are. They went 1 for 8, I think, to end the half, and now Iowa's back in it, and then they flipped the switch coming out of half. Give them credit. He's mentioned Sean Stewart with the defense and the steal and the flush, gets the crowd going. I thought they were killing him in the paint. They were beating him on the boards. And so, but I can't sit here and go because they beat Iowa at home that all of a sudden I know more about them than I did before. But I do like this team's ability to show up, and if they get in the tournament, they may not be a team that you want to see.
I think you kind of nailed it. I think what this team has proven to me is that they can play with anyone. They can show up on any given day. I mean, when you play 5 straight one-possession games, that grows a team. When you're in those kind of battles, I think it was a record 5 straight one-possession games in Ohio State history. That's crazy to me. And I think about the Wisconsin game. They were down 9 with 2 minutes to go. They made that a 1-point game and then a 2-point game. I give them credit. And the nice thing about basketball, and I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know, it's all about getting ready for March, and I think they're on the right upward track. If they win, I mean, I'll be very interested to see. The game that will tell me a lot about this team is at Illinois this Sunday. I think we're going to learn. I mean, if they can go in there and get a win like that.
They get that one. Outside of laying a complete egg the rest of the way, they'll probably get in.
That's what I'm saying.
I do worry that they're going to be a team, if they don't get that game, which they probably won't, is that they're going to have to stack some dubs. They are on the bubble, no question about it, but I do think they have some quality wins, the quad wins that they need. Then you may need help. But they don't have a ton of ranked games.
Well, they go on the road to play Jim Knowles' defense on Thursday, so we'll see how that goes. I do worry about that.
I know you were very happy for Jim Knowles.
I am very happy for Jim Knowles. Congratulations, Coach. Congrats.
Get that title.
Yeah.
Hand deliver it, drop the mic, and go to your dream school. All right, we'll come
9-1. They are 9-1. Ohio State is against Penn State in the last 10. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Nothing really shocks me anymore about where guys go and anymore. It used to. All right, we're going to come back top of the hour. I'll get into our final hour, and we will talk about, well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to analysis, this guy is at least very consistent. I doubt you'll agree. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with savings with new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items like pineapples, avocados, navel oranges, and lettuce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
Hey, it's Anthony. I got to tell you, when you don't have the support you need, it affects everything. Feet, knees, hips, back, even your mood. I finally went to the Good Feet store, and once I was personally fitted for my arch supports, I felt a ton better. I will never wear another pair of shoes again without sliding in my personally fit Good Feet arch supports. That's because they help me eliminate my foot pain. It's such a good feeling knowing that I can be on my feet and not worrying about I'm going to wake up with low back pain or feel a weakness somewhere. I trust the Good Feet store because for more than 30 years, they've helped thousands of people just like me get back to feeling comfort on a daily basis. They take pleasure in that, and it's their personal 3-step system designed to support, balance, and strengthen your feet that guides them into their ideal position. I'm the proof. I wear them every day, even when I'm biking at the gym. So go in, take the free test walk at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or goodfeet.com.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Austin Ward here, and if you thought my Awaken 180 results were an anomaly, no. Beam has dropped 37 pounds in his first 7 weeks. The guy has tied my Week 7 numbers. The point is, the results are consistent, the results are real, and they're for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt Andrews. The Buckeye men's basketball team beat Iowa last night, 82-65 here in Columbus. Iowa head coach Fred McCaffrey says the meat grinder of the Big Ten this year is a real thing.
In many ways, the toughest it's ever been because we had 4 new really good teams. But whether we had 12 teams, 14 teams, 16, they're all really good teams. It's not like you ever look at anybody and say, okay, that's an easy win, because it's not. Every team has really good players. Every team has a really good coach. So I kind of look at it the same way. Maybe a little more travel for everybody, but there's no advantage, disadvantage. Who's got the same situation.
Buckeyes hit the road for the next 2 at Penn State Thursday, at Illinois Sunday. Cavs won last night in Cleveland. They beat Detroit 110-91. Cleveland is in Miami tomorrow. Breaking sports news here on The Fan.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. Rothman and Ice. Adam King in studio today from 10 TV. We will have Spencer Holbrook on bottom of the hour, 2:30. Don't miss him. We'll find out whether Chip Kelly is truly in play now to follow the Jim Knowles playbook, although it's a different playbook.
It is a different playbook.
Jim Knowles, we played the clip.
One is offense, one is defense.
We played the clip for you earlier. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's fact. And Jim Knowles didn't hold back on leaving Ohio State for Penn State. He talked to his team about how he took the back streets to school and all that stuff. And so it's got... Now, you won the title, so there's not that anger towards him, I don't think.
No.
I first said, well, when these guys are in play for stuff, well, they all deserve to use the national title for their own personal gain.
That's
life.
Fine. That's fine.
Some use it for leverage. Some are already under contract, so it's a little more difficult, and he was still under contract. But I cannot tell you, when a guy talks about growing up in Philly and that he dreamed of playing for Penn State and all that it was everything to him, am I supposed to not believe it?
I think what really is just odd is that this guy was here a month ago. He was here a week ago.
They haven't won the title. Well, yes, a week ago, yes.
Yeah, but you telling me a month ago that he was sitting there like, you know where my dream is? Penn State.
No, I just think the timing worked out. They won the title. He was coveted. Penn State saw a chance.
But then he stands there and says, this was my dream job. So he's standing at Ohio State.
I don't know if he said it was his dream job.
Getting home
I said it was dream of going to Penn State and meet a player. CB, you got that clip? Yeah, play it again. I don't think it was his dream to say, I always wanted to coach here. I could be wrong. We'll hear it again.
We had like 3 channels on TV. And you got up Sunday morning and you watched the Penn State highlights. Because I grew up in Philly. North Philly, the real Philly for you suburb guys. I mean, the one where you take the subway to school every day. Penn State was everything. It was everything. That's what we aspired That's what we aspired to be. And I couldn't get there as a player, but through a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of really good players, and that allowed me to reach that point in my career where I could really pick wherever I wanted to be. And growing up as a kid, Penn State was everything, and this is where I want to be.
I think he's admitting that the timing of this helped him realize a boyhood dream.
Yes, there you go. A childhood dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not his dream job, but
it meant more to him. It's kind of like how weird I thought it was Belichick going to Carolina till I heard that his father was there. And then I thought, well, maybe he's realizing something about bookending his coaching life where his father, I was very fortunate one day years ago when I was working at Channel 6, and Hank Aaron came to Ohio State, and they had him at a basketball game. And I was able to interview him at halftime in one of the tunnels. And I left that interview thinking, the only person I want to call now is my dad. That was his hero. I got to interview his hero. Like, that's amazing. So there was something personal for me. And I could have left that interview going, that's the best interview I've ever had in my life. Why? Because it was Hank Aaron? No, because it was my dad's hero.
Okay.
And so I don't know whether there is something here inside of him of going closer to home. I mean, now, here's the hard question at the presser. Would you have gone there if you had to take a pay cut?
Great question.
That's the private.
Were you leaving?
That's the private
Did you
question.
want out of Columbus? And I think that this guy's on top of it over there.
He's on fire.
Well done. Well done.
The problem
Get in
is
the
that
car,
question
5
won't be
hours.
answered.
It's the worst drive in the world. There's nothing for 5 hours out west. Drive over there and ask him yourself, Rothman, and I'll be tuning in. I'll listen. I'll host the show tomorrow.
Somebody would ask. He would never answer it. Now,
I know.
It doesn't mean you can't ask it. It just means he would never answer it.
He would do this. He would just.
Yes, he would. Thanks, Kermit.
He would just sip on the coffee.
And so, what did he get? 3.1. So he got 3.1, and he was getting what? 2.8 here.
A little less.
But he had to have gotten bonuses
That's
from
true,
the title.
winning the title.
He had to get over $3 million. He had to be equal this season at least.
And Penn State had to pay the buyout.
That's true.
Well, they had to pay the buyout, but that's not going to him. So basically what we're saying is here, this was a lateral move financially. Can we at least get to that?
Yes. So if you're going to make a lateral financial
really go for the money, can we agree with that?
Yes. No, and I think that's yes. Yep.
All right. So then I have to believe that the title, and here's the other thing. He came here with a goal. They all had a goal. Some guys have more of a life, like a career here. And some guys are like, I was hired to do a job. I completed the job. We all won a title together. They'll never take that away from us. I'll always be in that team picture from 2024 of the 25 Ohio State champs of the 24 season, and I will always be a part of that. Now, CB, you can tell me, you're over there, how much of the Larry Johnson, Jim Knowles dynamic just weighed on things that the title either helped them make peace with, now they can all go their separate ways, or that actually created I don't need to live that anymore.
I mean, you're giving me probably too much credit there. I would probably deflect to our guy Adam here because he's asking those tough questions at the press conference. But I know it's been brought up in those one-on-one or group settings at media availabilities over at the Woody.
That is always a factor. Coaches' relationships are always a factor in decisions like that. I'm very, 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 very intrigued to see that first time Jim Knowles is in front of a microphone, because I do think at some point he's going to have to answer some questions, and I think the questions are going to be asked, and you can only deflect for so long.
I think those questions, you're right.
Yes.
But he'll never answer them. No, I doubt it. I doubt he would ever lean into, because most coaches and players can have it out and be stronger for it. You're all part of a common goal. Fingers are pointed all the time. Yelling happens. Arguments happen. It's all emotion in football. I don't think he would tell you, I just had enough with that dynamic. I don't know if he would.
So are you know the end of Elf, the Christmas movie Elf? When Santa flies over and then the news anchor says, I guess we'll never know what happened in Central Park this Christmas Eve. Is that how you think this ends?
Yeah. And I don't think Buckeye fans are that worried about it.
I don't either. That's ironic.
Because they won it all. If they fell short.
You're exactly right.
You know what? If they were the Detroit Lions and lost both their coordinators without winning it all, then it would feel like a double gut punch. Then it'd be like, wait a minute. Now we got to rebuild again, and you didn't get to the... Once you get to the end, it's like, okay, great. This team, put this team aside. That's this team. Yeah. I know they want to repeat and all that, but I think it brings some exciting possibilities.
I also think it's good to know that there are good candidates out there. Like, it's not like Ohio State lost... I mean, he's a great defensive coordinator. Like, one thing about Jim Knowles, he is a phenomenal defensive mind. But there are other defensive minds that could come in immediately and fill that void and help Ohio State continue to be a dominant defense.
We will come back with pre-snap reads, and you'll get to hear an analyst who always seems to have a certain quarterback in his crosshairs. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
One night, one stage, Billy Joel and Rod Stewart. Saturday, September 20th, one special evening at Paycor Stadium. Together for the first time ever in Cincinnati. Pre-sale for City Card members Monday at 10 a.m. through Thursday at 10 p.m. Public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. Saturday, September 20th. Don't miss Billy Joel and Rod Stewart.
How'd you like to wipe out all that credit card debt to start the new year off right? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Stop getting fleeced by the credit card companies. If you own your home, go to AFLcash.com now. Advantage First Lending can help you unlock that equity and get you tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's AFLcash.com. You can pay off all your credit cards and other high-interest debt super fast. Consolidate all your bills into one low monthly payment. AFLcash.com can help you tap into your home's equity to give you some serious cash so you can go into 2025 with less stress and more confidence. Get the cash you need from Advantage First Lending now. Most homeowners don't even need an appraisal. How great is that? Get on solid financial footing. Go to AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. 844-394-CASH.
Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm Leslie from Pella, Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One thing we keep hearing here in town, Wilson, is that the cost of Pella windows actually pleasantly surprises most people.
Pleasantly surprised?
You get the Pella next level quality and looks, but we also have 5 different lines to fit most budgets.
Our customers are almost always surprised, but it's never pleasant. Is there such thing as like angrily surprised?
Price is a little high.
Oh no, they're a lot high.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Bone, did you know that the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus has over 30 TVs, 2 massive video walls? They even have recliners, a full-service bar and restaurant, a betting counter, and over 30 kiosks?
I did know that, but I also know that you can reserve a table right now at Hollywood Casino Columbus at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook and guarantee your spot and get some game day swag while you do it. Just visit HollywoodColumbus.com/casino/sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. How much income will you need to retire? Let us help make sure you reach your financial goals. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Austin Ward here, and if you thought my Awaken 180 results were an anomaly, no. Beam has dropped 37 pounds in his first 7 weeks. The guy has tied my week 7 numbers. The point is, the results are consistent, the results are real, and they're for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
Sometimes the best time to prune trees is when they're dormant or with no leaves on them. For ISA certified arborists, it helps them see what branches may need to be pruned or removed. Dormant season pruning can also help lessen problems associated with insects and diseases and help create structurally stronger trees that can better handle heavy wet snows or ice buildup. Contact an ISA certified arborist to get the best professional advice on keeping your trees healthy and safe. Go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Tomorrow.
Ohio's colleges and universities are welcoming spaces where people of all backgrounds and beliefs come together to share ideas and become stronger critical thinkers. We should celebrate the innovative work of our higher education faculty and their dedication to using their collective voices to create the best learning conditions possible.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, plenty of sunshine. It does get windy this afternoon, so keep that in mind. Winds could gust as high as 30 miles per hour. Today's high will be 40. Wednesday, partly sunny, high of 40. Our next big storm comes in Thursday night into Friday. Could be looking at an inch of rain. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time at Bet365. We don't do ordinary. Bet365 has launched a new sign-up offer. If you bet $5, you'll get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed. Whether that bet wins, loses, customers get the bonus bets after signing up. And so today I will defer. I might do a tandem jump. We talked a little college hoops. What little three-way are you bringing to the table?
Speaking of three-way, I love a good three-way from Skyline. I got Kentucky.
Very proud of you. That's very nice.
He's on top of it today. You should give him a raise. Kentucky plus 10.5. 10.5? I don't care that they're at Tennessee. 10.5?
It's a lot.
Seton Hall money line. They're the dogs.
Yeah.
They're the dogs. If you're listening to this, I love it.
At home.
They're at home in a Big East battle.
We don't want to take the 3 just to be safe.
You know what? We don't do anything to be safe.
Money line it.
And then Kansas minus 13.0.
That I like because they're coming off an egg lane themselves, and they blasted UCF by like 50.
Rothman?
On the road,
That's
right?
756. Plus 756.
Plus 756.
If you put $10,
I'll do it.
That's $75 and 60 cents.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. Got to be 21 or older. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right. Chris Canty of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio in the morning has had quite a burr in his saddle over one specific quarterback. And I like Chris because he gives his hard take. He backs it up with whatever his opinion is. And he just seems, and I don't know what lit this fuse on Joe Burrow, but it may just be all the talk and the results aren't there. But the last I checked, it is a team game. And when you look at statistics of passing, my goodness, this year, did he have some untimely turnovers? He did. And I will say that was, some of them were very big. But my goodness, 70.6% completion, almost 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns to 9 picks. But here's Canty on a guy that the world thinks is elite, but he doesn't.
He's the quarterback. He's the most important player on the team, and they spent a ton of cash around him on the offensive side of the ball to prop him up and make sure that he performs at a really high level. So don't give me the empty calorie stats about how Joe Burrow is phenomenal. If he's so great, then why is his team not in the playoffs and a team like the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix is as a rookie quarterback? I don't understand it. I don't get it. But everybody wants to say, oh, Joe Burrow. Listen, I get it. Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback. He's just not an elite quarterback because elite quarterbacks aren't healthy the entire season and skip out on the playoffs.
You don't think Joe Burrow's an elite quarterback?
Nope. Oh, boy. Nope. Here we go.
You really are going to fire up your mentions with these Bengals fans.
Show me the elite quarterback that is healthy from week 1 through week 18, and that team doesn't make the playoffs. I'll wait.
You know, there is another side of the ball that could have helped him out a little more.
Yeah, I know. I also know that they're top 5 in cash spend on the offensive side of the ball. So quite literally, they're spending all of their money to make sure that the offense is good. That means the offense has to win. So
I think there's more to this conversation.
There could be more to the conversation, but we keep saying, oh, he's elite, he's elite. Show me, please, anybody, show me the elite quarterback that is healthy the entire season and their team doesn't make the playoffs.
I don't know. I think that's the wrong argument.
The wrong argument? It's the dumbest argument I've ever heard.
It's when you think about the plus point differential.
I mean,
they had a plus 38, I think, the Bengals did, based on how trash their defense was. The Denver Broncos had a plus 114, based on how much better their defense was.
We need to remove the amount of people that get microphones in this country. It is ridiculous how many people can just say things.
Well, he's a Super Bowl champion.
They had 25 points against the Chiefs. They had 33 points against the Commanders. They had 38 points against the Ravens. This is insane. And they lost these games. What do you want him to... 34 points in their other one. What do you want him to do? He does not play cornerback. He does not play safety. He cannot cover over the top.
It's a horrible argument.
It's idiotic. 27 points in their loss to the Chargers. 38 in their... it's one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league this season. Statistically, far none. There is no argument to be made against that.
Leading passer.
I can't.
It's crazy.
And he's talking about they're spending all their money on offense. That's because Joe Burrow is elite. They're not giving... this isn't the Giants. They're not giving Daniel Jones $40 million here in Cincinnati. They're giving good players the money they deserve. Their defense has missed on draft picks.
Yeah, I don't know where this came from. I don't know whether it came from that he's being ranked higher in some people's minds than somebody that he likes, and he feels like that's the problem. His argument of show me a guy who's healthy the entire year, an elite quarterback where his team doesn't make the playoffs. I don't even know where I stand on that.
You know what's interesting?
This is the NFL. You can't just outscore everybody. I will say that he played poorly early. He did. He had some very bad turnovers, especially in the opener against New England. They were put behind the 8 ball. The fourth down, there was a penalty, right? In the Kansas City game, they would have won that game. The egg he laid, really, and they didn't even need him, was the 181 he threw for at Cleveland, but they won the game anyway.
I am absolutely dumbfounded by that argument.
Yeah.
When you think about the great Patriots teams that Tom Brady had...
Let me sum it up for you.
Okay.
I'm going to do it because I said this last week, and I think this is the one that'll put all arguments to bed.
Okay.
Russell Wilson had 414 yards passing against Cincinnati this year in that game.
Unlimited.
Russell Wilson had 414 yards passing in a game where the Bengals scored 38 and Pittsburgh won the game. You tell me how many people thought that Russell Wilson would throw for 414 in any game, and the fact that he did it in a division game, and Burrow threw for 309 that day. It was 28 of 38, and and Chase had a touchdown, and Higgins had a touchdown. That's it for me. I would take that one game and say that if you have a team that allows Russell Wilson to throw for 414, don't blame the other quarterback.
Yeah, why wasn't Joe out there swatting those passes down? Why wasn't he getting after? We want to talk. Tom Brady he's obviously the greatest quarterback of all time, but the defenses that he had, from 2006 to I'm looking here all the way through the end of the time, he had one defense outside the top 10. In 2016, he had the number 1 overall defense when nobody said, wow, Tom Brady, you're terrible. You needed a great defense to win. What are we doing? What are we doing? Guys like CB and Anthony Rothman should be the only people that are allowed to have microphones and give their thoughts, because I've had enough of it. It's gotten out of control.
How many guys are elite? Like, I don't even know what that word means anymore. Guys can play elite. You know what the argument they were having on ESPN over the last couple of weeks before Washington lost to Philly is Jaden Daniels playing better than any quarterback right now in the playoffs? And everybody went crazy over the comment. And they had to keep saying over and over again, we're not talking about legacy. We're not talking about a guy you would take if you had one game. The question on the table is he performing right now better than any quarterback in the playoffs? And at that time, you could make the case he was, even though maybe some teams he was playing, it's not all apples to apples. But I think in this world of, I don't know where Chris Canty, what games he's watching. If he wants to say that elite quarterbacks don't make some of the mistakes that Burrow makes, okay, we can get into that in an individual in a vacuum. But how many guys are truly elite? Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and possibly, when he's on it, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. Is Jalen Hurts elite?
Yeah, I think he would be in that category you put Stafford in.
He's dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's elite, but if he wins this one and he plays well, they're going to have a lot of Saquon in this game. But he made some great throws last week against Washington, even though their defense has been trash all year.
I don't know why we can't have a conversation about players being great even if their team is not good. Like, why does a team have to be good to elevate a player? I mean, you can still be the other thing about we never address here is that with the NFL draft, it's styled that the best players go to the worst teams. And then we refuse to give the quarterbacks credit.
It'd be one thing if their offense was underachieving all year because of him, or they weren't scoring the points they were scoring. That's the difference. That's what I don't understand. I would be all in for the argument of, hey, Burrow doesn't look the same. He doesn't. But he did. And he took him on a run at the end of the year. He threw for 428 and a loss at Baltimore. There was a turnover that was pivotal at the end of that game that he had. Yeah, that apparently is wiping out everything for Canty, and he's not worried about the 428. That he has to will his team to victory. But that's who they are. I'd have to look, CB. Do we know? I'll tell you what, I'll look real fast here on, maybe you guys can guess this.
What's the question?
What were their points per game average this year?
I would say, but just based off my mind, I would say somewhere between 28 and 32. Points per game.
You just missed the window. It was 27.8. But that put them sixth.
Yeah.
Sixth most points per game in the league. That's why I can't figure out.
Do you round up in your game?
And what did they give up per game?
What did they give up? I would say they were certainly bottom 8. And I would say they
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And I don't
think you're going to get this. I think you're going to go too high.
I think they probably gave up 24 points per game.
Oh, not high enough. 25.5.
Gosh, I was so close. It's like Price is Right. I didn't want to go over this.
Guess what the Browns gave up, CB? And their great defense, points per game.
I was going to say it's probably not a whole lot better. I'll do like 24.6.
25.6. 1/10 worse. I would not have.
No, because the seasons were two very different seasons.
All right, guys, if you're not feeling that great, you're not feeling motivated and strong, and your stats aren't jumping off the page, find out at lowtcenter.com. Book your appointment right now. Just get online and find an appointment that suits you at time of day of the week, and go in there, take the simple blood test, get your results back right there on the spot with our on-site lab. And then you will find out where you land on the scale. And if you're like, okay, wow, I didn't think I was that low, or maybe that's the reason I'm not motivated or I feel tired all the time. And then they will guide you. The experts at Low T Center have more than a decade of experience helping patients. Super important. They're going to personalize that treatment plan for you, optimize it. It's not going to be a standard dosage plan. If you're a current patient, go ahead and refer one of your friends. You'll get $150 referral credit for each new patient that you refer. All right, Low T Center's the place. Lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. We come back with Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row, and will they have to replace the OC as well as the DC? Find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And everybody's had these pains, these little nicks, these things that you maybe had an injury when you were younger and you thought it went away. And then all of a sudden, as you get older, it starts to creep back. Doing everything, walking up the stairs, doing your favorite activities, golf, skiing, whatever it might be, the summer, the spring, the winter, it hurts. Hey, do not deal with it any longer. The hip, the knee, the shoulder, the back, whatever it is, there's good news. Go to QC Kinetics. They're groundbreaking treatments for that arthritis pain. They're going to make you feel better. The long-term relief, it's now possible. They're right here in Columbus under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sport Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. Don't wait. Make the call today. My dad and I did. His knee's starting to feel better. My knee feels better. They've got PRP treatments. They can change your life. I'm telling you right now. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus for your free consultation or give them a call at 380-208-4544. It's not going to go away on its own. They've got 2 offices in Dublin and Gahanna, so check them out.
Get your seat in the shop to watch Ohio State men's ice hockey this Thursday, January 30th and Friday, January 31st. Join the Buckeyes as they take on Michigan State. There are only a few more home series left, so don't miss the chance to see the Buckeyes at home. Buy your tickets at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. The best time of the year for football is finally here. The big game has arrived, and fans are excited to see you'll be hoisting the trophy in New Orleans. You can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Check out their big game giveaway promo for your chance at $1 million in prizes. 25 winners will walk away with $10,000 in cash. 7,500 winners will get $100 in bonus bets. No deposit or bet required. Opt in today in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Want to jinx your favorite sports team?
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Just ask Matty to print your shirts. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. Buckeye football keeping everybody warm and toasty. Our man Spencer Holbrook was along for the entire ride, and he's back with us again. He of Lettermen Row, and it's good to have you back, dude. Always good to chat with you, and I got Adam King in here as well, so expect some hard-hitting questions. How you been?
Pleasure to meet you, Spencer.
Absolutely. I'm honored to be on with television's Adam King. It's great to be back.
You know, he sits on the porcelain throne.
He's
a king.
It's the iron
throne. I'm sorry, iron. My bad.
It is sometimes porcelain.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any personal feeling towards why Jim Knowles flew the coop here, or was it simply as he has stated, which is it wasn't a money move, it was a boyhood dream realized move, timing was right, won a title, made peace with that here at Ohio State, or is there something in the inner workings of that defense that made it more convenient for him to want to leave?
Feels like we're post-political debate right now. Yeah. I feel like I'm in the spin ring because we've got a Knowles side of the story and the agent side of the story with, there's apparently some fiance chattering about it. Then we've got, obviously, how some of the people who have had contact with Ohio State feel about it. And it feels like it's just two sides of the same story that are being told in different manners. And, I guess that's how these things are always they always end up when something like this happens. I don't think it was just about money. I don't think it was just about defense. I don't think it was just about, relationships within the Ohio State building. So I just think that there's a multitude of factors at work here. And the bottom line is, is Jim Knowles the best defensive coordinator in the country? Yeah, but I think Ohio State's going to be able to probably end up in a pretty decent spot and have a good defense next year, whether it was going to be Knowles calling the shots or not.
Well, I would ask that you don't use big words like multitude on our show. I don't necessarily know what that means. It sounds important, though. The bigger question, Spencer, where is the Cotton Bowl trophy? We've now seen the trophy celebration 3 different times in different places. The Rose Bowl trophy's there. There is no Cotton Bowl trophy. Have you gotten to the bottom of that?
I have not. It's the real hard-hitting investigative journalism that On 3 and Lettermen Row really demand from ourselves. And I asked last night and got a big fat, I don't know. So I don't think anyone knows where it is right now. Maybe it's being sent. There's not a lot of video post-game Cotton Bowl locker room with the trophy in it. I'm not going to speculate on what could have happened to it or if it's just being shipped. It might have been the TSA risk because of how big that trophy is. It's like 3 feet tall. I simply don't know. I would love to find out, and I am working on it. I put on my Sherlock Holmes outfit today so I could try to get to the bottom. I've got the magnifying glass out. But you don't really need it with the trophy that big. But, yeah, guys, it's the biggest mystery in Columbus right now. It's not what happened with Jim Knowles. It's where in the world is the Cotton Bowl trophy.
It's quite a swirling mass of excellence, too. I like that trophy. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they didn't allow them to.
Now, listen, if it's being shipped, that's one thing, and that's not a fun story. But if something happened in the locker room, then maybe they got to repair that. That's a great story that I would like to share.
Listen, when Eddie George came back from the Heisman in the 90s, he brought the Heisman through the airport and put it in the X-ray, and one of the fingers got cracked off, and so they had to make him a new one. So maybe this thing.
I've never heard that story. Mm-hmm. Spence, have you heard that story?
I haven't, but if you told me that something happened to the Cotton Bowl trophy, I wouldn't be surprised. Those guys are pretty fired up after that Texas game, and yeah, I mean, we'll see. I would imagine it's going to pop up at some point, and maybe it'll have some super glue and duct tape and popsicle sticks around it, trying to keep that thing together. Who knows? I don't know because we don't know where it is.
Is someone going to poach Chip Kelly, or is he going to make himself poachable?
I know that there is some interest. Whether that materializes to anything, we'll see. That's kind of an NFL decision at this point, and a Chip decision as well. There's obviously the NFL side is so different with the agents and the inner workings with the media and the reporters. It is just a different world over there. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad I'm on this side and not on the NFL side because it's a little different. And the buzz from the NFL is that he's a candidate and there's some interest there. We'll see if that materializes. I know that. I've heard that if it does happen, Ohio State will be prepared. But, if it doesn't happen, then they'd love to have Chip Kelly back. I do know for certain that he's on the trail talking to recruits about coming to play for the Buckeyes, which is a good sign if you're in the camp that Chip Kelly needs to be back for a second year. I know Ryan Day and Ohio State would probably love to have him back for a second year. But the fact that the NFL media circles have said that there's some interest there, whether it's the Texans or the Jags or whoever it might be, those are pretty enticing spots, I would say that, with Trevor Lawrence with the Jags and obviously CJ with the Texans. So if something does happen, I know Ohio State will be prepared, but we'll see because I think it's been interesting that Chip's been on the trail the last couple of days. And, yeah, he wasn't at the trophy celebration on Sunday, the Cotton Bowl-less trophy celebration, but, he was out on the trail yesterday, and I think that's pretty noteworthy in its own.
Well, unlike other guys, he's the one that took the massive pay cut to come here. So it's not like, and I'm not saying he's not deserving of more money or wherever he wants to go, and that's always part of it, but maybe he's also a guy that has a deep love for going to, back to the NFL. And, when you win a title, Spence, you make peace with a lot of things. Like you kind of, you check the big box, and now that the world is at your oyster, the world is your oyster again. They may go, if you had to guess, you said he was recruiting right now. And I know this is very difficult, but when you talked to him over the years, did you get a sense that he was always going to get pulled by the NFL again or have that feel?
Well, I don't think his name would be out there if there wasn't at least a little bit of that itch, because I think that he's connected well enough in the NFL and college to know, like, hey, don't put my name anywhere, because, I'm content where I'm at. But, I think he is, to a certain extent, content. But college football is crazy. There's no off season here. And I think we learned that the hard way when 20 minutes after the trophy celebration, I couldn't even drive from, the horseshoe down to my house before the news broke, and I had to get out of the car and really quickly write a story. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so constant. You can't even celebrate a championship. In the NFL, like, there is a true off season. There are true downtimes. So, like, that pull has to be real, especially from somebody who's experienced the NFL before at the level that Chip has. So, if you told me that Chip still had that itch, I would 100% believe you. But, like I said, the fact that he's on the trail right now tells me that, he's going to be locked in with Ohio State until he absolutely is not. And, yeah, that's got to be comforting for some Ohio State fans to know that he's still out there. He's still recruiting. He was down to see a 4-star Florida State quarterback commit at the, I think over the weekend, and then all of a sudden he wasn't a 4-star Florida State commit anymore. He's just a 4-star quarterback. So, they're still doing some pretty good stuff on the trail with Chip. And as long as he's still here, I guess he's still going to be doing those kinds of things and having the pull of Ohio State. And by the way, now he's got a national championship ring on his finger. Like you said, that can change things, but it can also change things in the positive and make him more, invigorated to go get another one with Ryan Day. We'll see what happens.
All right, good stuff, my man. Appreciate you. We'll be in touch soon.
Yeah, I'm going to go keep searching for this Cottonville Trophy. If I have to get to Arlington and look for it myself, I'm going to.
That's what we love to hear. Mm-hmm. Spencer, that's why you are one of the best.
Stay on the case, man. I know back in the day they dispatched me up to Canton to find O.J. Simpson's bust that was stolen from the Hall of Fame, and I did not come back until I found it. So
that's remarkable. You know what I now want to find? The broken Heisman Trophy. Where's Eddie's broken Heisman?
Just the tip.
I appreciate you guys.
The finger.
Just the finger.
That's right. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Spencer Holbrook. Brian, Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. What did you think? I was lying? I was there.
I want to see it. I want to find the fingerless
Eddie George's Trophy. Heisman got stuck in the X-ray machine.
But they didn't throw that Heisman
and
away.
And it lost the tip of the index finger.
So where is it?
It was damaged. I don't know. Ask him.
Why is the index finger pointed out?
And it bent the middle one back, too, from what I remember.
Oof.
And so what you're saying is you would have bought that one for a nice discount. Give me the...
I'd put it right on my desk.
What do they call the clothing you buy all the time?
The 5-finger discount?
No, not the 5-finger discount.
Well, it'd be 4.5 because he'd lose the tip.
The irregulars,
when it's got like an extra arm.
Yeah, or red dot or something on that Rose Bowl sweatshirt.
Yeah, the clearance.
What is that red dot on there?
It's a rose.
No, under there, near the pocket. I see a red blotch. What is that?
Where?
It's like on the pocket.
Oh, no, that's not supposed to be there. Oh, gosh. Well, I've ruined my sweatshirt. It took 2 weeks.
I got him, folks.
Dang, there's nothing on it. Oh, my gosh. On live,
we come back,
radio.
Tell the truth next, which I didn't there. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more of the good life to your life so you can bring home more perfectly plump and flavorful produce picked for precise freshness, beautifully marbled beyond brag-worthy certified Angus beef, and more must-have money-saving M-Perks rewards. Because saving more on local favorites is good, but bringing home more of what you love in every trip, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, can we talk? It's a new year and I need to move on. We had a great run, but you're old now. So I'm trading you in at Great Lakes Kia.
And new Kias are under $5 a day.
That's less than lunch.
Lease new Kia K4, K5, and Sorrentos. All three under $5 a day. At Great Lakes Kia.
That's only $149 a month for 24 months.
Yes, new 25 Kia K5 LXS, K4 LXS, and Sorrento LX. Standard with third row seating. All three under $5 a day.
That Kia Sorrento is hot.
And we've got 0% financing.
But what if I'm not good enough for credit?
If you've got a job, you ride.
Under $5 a day.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia. GreatLakesKia.com. Want to take it for a test drive?
Oh, he needs to meet my parents first. To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Hey, Columbus, Brandon Beam here. I'm going to be at the new AT&T store at 1605 Georgesville Square Drive this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. Bring your friends, bring your family, and let's have some fun. Again, at 1605 Georgesville Square Drive. See you out there.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
When you bring Pella Columbus to your home, you get local, personal attention from an award-winning window and door crew.
Yep. Our crew is full of award winners, too.
Well, that's great, Wilson.
Yeah. Jerry alone has won the hot dog eating competition 2 years straight at the company picnic.
Well, that's not really the type of award I was talking about.
Still counts as an award.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
Austin Ward here, and if you thought my Awaken 180 results were an anomaly, no. Beam has dropped 37 pounds in his first 7 weeks. The guy has tied my week 7 numbers. The point is, the results are consistent, the results are real, and they're for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, CB. Let's make Adam tell the truth.
Yes, let's tell the truth on a true or false. True or false? It is important these days to still get the division or conference title champions apparel whenever a team like in baseball wins the division or wins the pennant, those type of items.
You going first? Tricks are for kids. I think that the old division champs, NFC championship, when the Vikes, I don't know. I first of all, you got to win the game.
Yeah,
you cannot have that. What's the other stuff they have, like theme stuff? And
I just can't imagine. Like, I genuinely believe it. It depends on who the team is. Like, I think there are Bengals fans that still have AFC Championship gear because they love that game. They look fondly of it going to the Super Bowl. I would love to see how many fans bought Chiefs AFC Championship gear this year because it's got to be zero. They've got back-to-back years of Super Bowl gear. They're hoping to get three-peat gear. Nobody's celebrating an AFC championship anymore in Kansas City, and they're building their boxes upon boxes of gear.
You don't think they're selling it just on emotion?
No.
I would say, like, when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl and played the Rams, if you were a big Cincinnati fan and went to that Super Bowl and you and I were there, wouldn't you wait to see if they won the game before you bought your souvenirs? Or would you want that sweatshirt that had the Rams helmet and your helmet on that you just went there?
Now, see, I think the Super Bowl is different because saying you played in it, but again, it depends on the team. Like, if I'm the Chiefs and you lose this year, I don't want gear from that Super Bowl. We lost. But if I'm the Bengals, hey, we hadn't been to a Super Bowl in 30 years. That was great. We went to the Super Bowl out in L.A. Yeah, I want that forever because it was a great memory.
CB, did you buy any American League Central champs this year?
No, never have and never will.
Never have, never will. You know why? Because he has a high standard. He said, I will only buy when we win it all.
Yeah, I don't think it's as I don't think they're as popular as they used to be. I think back, it just felt like it was a little more important back in the day if you were
those poor Cotton Bowl championship shirts. I've seen them at Dick's. Everybody's walking past the Cotton Bowl championship Cotton Bowl championship shirts and reaching and grabbing their national title. Nobody's saying, you know what I got to have?
But what's funny is a lot of people bought the ATL-bound sweatshirts heading towards the championship game.
Yeah, I don't really get that. And I didn't really like the design. A lot of people bought the zip-ups, which I like. They don't say national champions, but they certainly are probably the coolest thing you could buy. A lot of cool people bought them is what I heard. Like the people that are really, really smart and well-styled bought them.
Thought you bought that Branson bound Missouri, like when you and your family.
Yes.
When you bought those shirts that Branson bound. When you and your family went to Branson, Missouri.
Off to the Ozarks is
That's
my
right.
favorite.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
All right, all of these players at the Senior Bowl, they strive to be at the top of the NFL. Most likely the quarterback's looking to get to the Patrick Mahomes level. Not many strive to be the Chase Daniels of the NFL, but I think if you're in that position as a backup, you would love to have a long career of 10-plus years making great money.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, Chase Daniel. I put the S unnecessarily at the end.
Tell the truth.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
I pointed, no, you got it.
That's the Ohio in me.
I didn't have to say it. Right.
But yes, Chase Daniel is
Kroger's.
Chase Daniel is really, really a good model for those backups that get 10-plus years, make really good money, and they don't become super important for their team. One guy I could see doing that, maybe going later in the draft, is Kyle McCord. So tell the truth. Could Kyle McCord have a long-term NFL career as a backup?
You're saying 10-plus years?
Like a Chase Daniel.
Like a Chase Daniel. I'm not sensing it.
No.
Although I will say he's getting a lot more pub than he was before when he outdueled, and I know it's not, when he outdueled Cam Ward in that game against the U, and he had almost 400 yards and a couple touchdowns and knocked off a team that was 6th ranked, he started to get some run. And I think he's a lot higher than he was before. I just don't think at the NFL level, remember, we're not asking him to be a starter here. You're just saying a long-term backup. You know, I don't see it. I don't know why. And I'm not trying to disrespect him. I think he had a great year, and he rallied a team and all that. It's a tough business, man. And I just don't think, as I jump into my John Green, you know, I tell you, man, I tell you what, staying as a backup in that league, that's, I don't see it.
Honestly, and I'm required to tell the truth here.
Yeah.
I don't see.
CB tied you up with his golden lariat.
You did, and I don't see it as much with Kyle McCord. I do think that is the floor for Will Howard. Yep. That is the Will Howard floor, and I've said, you know, I think Will could get a shot to be a starter somewhere if things go right. You know, and I think he's a great leader, but I think his floor is Chad Henne in Kansas City, where everybody loves him. He comes in when he's needed. He's a smart quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I think Will's going to be around the league for a long, long time, and I think he's going to get a shot, and I think he might capitalize on it.
With Kyle being much more limited athletically, because I think that's what keeps Will Howard around.
Yeah,
is that now the older he gets, how much mobility he'll have.
How much mobility do you have?
Some.
Okay. You think you could play backup quarterback in the NFL?
No. Teddy Bridgewater got called off the couch this year.
See?
He was pretty strong.
They could still call
you.
you.
Look at the injury that he had.
They could still call you. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to tell the truth. That's my fault. I lied.
Set up those robotic cameras in the TV studio and put me through a little skills competition with no rush. We'll see how I do.
No rush in that you don't have anybody coming after you? Like,
That's
no
correct.
rush. Like, take your time, Anthony. We understand this is difficult for you.
Or just, I don't get a rush from it. No, it'll be nobody rushing the quarterback. All right, CB, keep
and that,
cruising.
my boy, is a damn truth.
All right, next up, we are still waiting on the Saints head coach hiring, but we're pretty much done with the head coach carousel so far. Obviously, majority of these guys end up not working out, I would say, in most cycles. So the question is, tell the truth. Which NFL head coaching hire so far in this cycle do you look at and say, yeah, that's probably going to be a disaster?
Oh, a disaster. I thought you were going the other way. Go for it.
It's Dallas.
Brian Schottenheimer?
It's Schottenheimer. I mean, and listen, they're going to play this back when Dallas wins the Super Bowl, and they're going to say that Adam King guy in Columbus, Ohio, doubted us. They've got it, but I just don't see it working out there. Dallas is a really hard job you need somebody that is almost like a Bill Belichick in Dallas. I go get somebody that's got a backbone that's going to absolutely just no nonsense. I'm here to win. I don't care that it's Dallas. Let's go.
This either sends Jerry Jones back into the what an evil genius this guy is, or it just solidifies how out to lunch he really is.
Yeah.
Because a non-play calling offensive coordinator for a coach, the Cowboys didn't even have to beg to take the job or anything. He didn't go for the splash. I'll give him some credit there.
I like the
didn't
splash.
pay for Dion or Belichick. He could have had him. I don't know if Belichick wanted to coach for him, but you would think he would have taken that job if he really wanted it. He would have just endured Jerry. But you're probably right. That one has disaster written all over it. The Aaron Glenn with the Jets, depending on what their quarterback situation, but I'm with you. That is the one.
Just find out right now today is true.
All right, let's get the fan poll in real quick. The Blue Jackets have a 4-game road trip coming up at Vegas, Utah, Dallas, and Buffalo. Will they get 1-0 or 0-1 points, 2-3, 4-5, or 6+?
4-5.
That's exactly where I was going to sit. 4-5. It's a good time to be a Blue Jackets fan right now. Yeah. Things are fun.
Should beat Utah.
Shall set you free.
Should beat Buffalo. And then if they get a point or two from Vegas or Dallas, then you got something.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, my man.
Hey, it is always a pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of your day here.
It's
at
6 and 11 o'clock.
Kings Island.
Tune in.
Have a funnel cake. Keep your hands and arms inside the ride at all times.
I make no promises.
We will talk to you tomorrow at noon. Conrad and T-Bone up next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
This action update is sponsored by Logan Services, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Who's going to score the first touchdown in the Super Bowl? I'd say it'll be Saquon Barkley at plus 425. Jalen Hurts is 7-1. Travis Kelce also 7-1. Kareem Hunt comes in at plus 850. A.J. Brown and Xavier Worthy are both 10-1 to be the first touchdown scorer in the Super Bowl. For your Logan Services action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Get your furnace fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Let's get it started.
Lindsay Honda starts this year off by giving you cash for your clunker. Up to $2,500 or $3,500 minimum for any trade. It's Lindsay Honda's Cash for Clunkers. 2025 CRVs and Ridgelines, both $299 a month. That's $299 a month or clunker cash going on now.
The lot is full and the deals are on.
See lindsayhonda.com for program details.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Beloved former basketball coach and educator Satch Sullinger knows you got to keep moving to stay healthy. But that's not so easy when your aching joints won't cooperate.
We still want to move and we still want to get around and we still want to be active, but we start to deteriorate the moment we quit moving.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help restore movement in stiff, aching knees, hips, shoulders, and back, using only your natural healing properties to help restore damaged joints. That's a huge positive for Satch.
It's working, and what I really like about it is there's nothing foreign put in my body. Everything that was put in my body has been taken from my body. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to live until the day I die.
Get rid of the pain and start moving again. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus and call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. Again, 208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Get your seat in the shot to watch Ohio State men's ice hockey this Thursday, January 30th and Friday, January 31st. Join the Buckeyes as they take on Michigan State. There are only a few more home series left, so don't miss the chance to see the Buckeyes at home. Buy your